You know, I never wore Davis on the back of my jersey, and my mama told me when I got to college I kind of forgot my name, you know, because my whole name is Christopher Lynn Davis Jr., and I just thought that I played my last year with Junior on the back of my jersey.
Pretty good quarterback you played against this coming Saturday. You watch him last night?
I watched a little bit of the game last night. You know, he's a pretty good player. You know, the most exciting player in college football right now.
How do you cope with that? How do you deal with that? How do you keep him from just running crazy?
You got to keep him in the pocket. You know, make him beat us with his arms instead of his feet, and that's what we're gonna try to do as a defense.
Let's talk about the season you've had at this point, Chris. I know you've had a little bit of an injury problem, but just how do you feel like you're playing overall?
Overall, I think I'm playing good. You know, I still got to improve my game. You know, like I said before, I'm trying to be the best corner in the SEC, and to get to that point, I got to keep improving every Saturday.
This game was a pretty miserable game and a miserable season last year. Does that have any impact on the way you approach this game this year?
I didn't actually play in the game last year, but I watched it on TV, and it was a pretty disappointing loss. You know, so hopefully we can turn that around this year.
Seems like you kind of get pretty nasty out there in the field, kind of angry, kind of rough with people. Kind of how do you get in that mode? How do you get kind of kicked up for a game like this?
A game like this?
Just a game in general. How do you get so? You kind of flick that switch, it seems like.
You know, I play for a whole lot of people instead of me, you know, and I got to provide for my family. And through this game, I got a good chance of doing that, and that's why I go out every Saturday and play like I do.
You guys as a team, you've gone from 1-5 to 5-1 in a year. Just talk about that transformation.
It's a good turnaround. You know, like Malzahn said, each week we trying to improve. We trying to improve every week, you know, and Malzahn doing a good job, him and his staff, with, you know, the game planning, and we just go out and try to execute.
You guys worry about the number of yards you give up? And obviously the points aren't an issue.
We really don't worry about the number of yards. At the end of the day, it's all about wins and losses.
You obviously missed a couple of games with an injury. Can you just talk about getting back into it and now back in the starting lineup?
You know, it's frustrating when you get hurt, you know, but I'm just happy to be back out here on my team and try to contribute the best way I can.
You think you'll be returning anymore?
I'll be returning Saturday.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
You got hurt returning, right?
I got hurt a third down before.
Before
returning.
Before you return. What exactly was it, Chris?
It was a peroneal sprain in my ankle. Something to do with my tendons, but I'm all right.
How excited are you to get back to returning punts again?
You know, I think that take my game to a whole nother level overall. You know, I think that picked my game up on defense, you know. I love to have the ball in my hands, so I think that's a good thing.
What hostile environment out there? I know you haven't been there before, but you've been to a lot of really loud places. How does that impact you as a defensive player?
You know, they'll have all the fan support and everything out there, but as a defensive player, we got to feed off of each other. As a defense, you know, we're going to have to be our own crowd out there. You know, we're going to have to celebrate with the team, with the players that make plays on the team, you know. We just got to bring our own energy.
What's the mentality knowing, you know, Manziel's probably going to make some plays? You just have to sort of have some patience. How do you kind of approach a game where you know you're going to give up something, but
Malzahn always say have a next play mentality. You know, each and every game you're going to give up a play, you know, and it's depending on how you come back the next play, how you regroup yourself. And, you know, we're going to face some obstacles this game, you know, but it's going to define us how well we come back and do after we face those obstacles.
What do you know about their big receiver, Evans?
I really don't know too much about him, but I know he's a pretty good receiver, and I love to be matched up with him.